say, man, I don't know her. She's too quiet.
What up, though? It's your girl, She's Too Quiet, and welcome back to the She's Too Quiet podcast. She's Too Quiet is all about remembering your voice matters. Although you're quiet, people are actually interested in you. They want to know where you go, where you don't go, what you like, and what you don't like. Don't be afraid to use your voice. Your voice matters. We've officially made it to the end of the week. I hope everyone is doing well out there. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about beauty. So right now, as some of you may know, I'm going through my self-care, self-love journey with myself. And it's been interesting learning about how to properly show up in the world as it relates to how you look. As I'm getting into this, I really see how you look has a lot to do with your self-confidence. Now, I've moved to Dallas and it's different, I have to tell you, compared to San Antonio as it relates to looks. So in San Antonio, the population made it a little easier for me in particular. Now, I'm just speaking for myself, okay? So the population of San Antonio made it easier for me to slack a little bit in regards to looks. I don't want anyone to take any offense to this, but San Antonio does not have a lot of African Americans there. Therefore, if you are in spaces with not a lot of African Americans, you may feel like you can set whatever tone you want to in these environments. So because the people around you don't necessarily look like you, there's really nothing they can tell you in regards to your looks, right? Because you're the token black girl, right? You are one of one. When you move to a space like Dallas, it's a little bit different because you are not one of one. You are one of 10 million. Okay? Dallas is heavily populated with African Americans, so there is this different feeling to look better here, in my opinion, as opposed to San Antonio. Like, I don't want to say it's like competition, but you're not the only one trying to be the only one. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are a million copies of you here. So how are you going to be set apart? Like, how are you going to be uniquely you? Like, you really have to start developing your true essence when you come to spaces heavily populated with your same ethnicity. And to be honest too, why I'm starting to focus on more how I present myself to the world is because of the position that I am in as it relates to my job. So I work in like the executive arena at my job, and this was a huge switch for me, I have to say. Like I said before, back in San Antonio, like, I can look however I want to look. Like, it don't really matter that much. Like, I'm just coming to my job, I'm going home, I'm going to my church home that I've been going to for years, and I'm going home. Like, for me, it felt like there was really no need. Even on like the relationship side of things, it's like most of the African American men in San Antonio was really checking for non-African American women. Like, I didn't see a whole lot of, dark meat appreciation in San Antonio. But when you get to Houston and Dallas and these heavily African American populated places, the love and the appreciation is a lot different. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not sure if that's just, a San Antonio thing, but it fared to, the light skins, the Hispanics, and the Caucasians. If you are African American women, it was very rare that you would get some sort of play unless you are in your face with it. And me, as a quiet girl, I'm never in your face with it. Like, nah, I'll play. You're going to have to catch me on the side. You're going to have to talk to me on the side. Or I'm going to have to talk to you on the side. But I'm never in your face like that. And so I felt like in order to make it in that relationship arena in San Antonio, you really have to be more on the outspoken side. So, yeah. Now, in Dallas, like I said, I'm in the executive arena at my job. And if you're in the executive space, it's a little different how you show up to work, right? And I was shocked when I moved here because I'm telling you, I called my mom. I said, Mom, they dress different up here. She was like, what do you mean? I said, Mom, they get dressed. People get dressed up here. It's not like San Antonio dress. People really put it on up here. And I was going to work. I was in orientation. And in orientation, they're telling you about the facility, all this kind of stuff. And they were like, on Fridays, we wear jeans. You could wear jeans on Fridays. It's something new. The director is letting us wear jeans. And I was like, cool, casual Fridays. I could do that. I wear a jean all day. So it was a Friday. I came into the office with jeans and a little polo shirt. Got a collar on it, keep it professional. And tell me why nobody in that office was wearing jeans. Now, it baffled me because I'm like, this man said that it was Jean Friday, and why is everybody in slacks? They're in their skirts, dresses. There's men in the office, full suit, tie on. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, I felt so uncomfortable that whole day, walking around the office in jeans when everybody is like dressed for business. And I remember telling my mom, I'm trying to tell you, nobody had on jeans. She was like, oh yeah, you're gonna have to step it up then. So ever since that day, I was like, oh man, all right, this is different. I never had to show up in this way. And also, like, when you're around other people who are I would say upper echelon as it relates to high ranking in a certain profession, you don't want to look like the one that's lacking. So I began to try to think to myself, okay, you don't want to look like you don't belong here. You want to make sure that you are keeping up. I mean, this environment is different, it's fast paced, everybody's on the go, there's meetings, there's all of these things, and you don't want to look like you are not, amongst who you belong to or who you're supposed to be representing. And I sat with that thing, y'all. I got on Shein so fast. I started ordering blazer, collared shirt, blouse, loafer, belt. Like, I was like, nah, fam, you ain't gonna catch me slipping. Now that I know y'all don't come to play, I ain't coming to play either. So that's really been like my vibe over this course of time being here, is really trying to find out who is the adult she's too quiet. Like, I don't know, it's weird because it's hard to realize sometimes how old you are until you have to realize how old you are. Like, my mindset sometimes, I feel like I'm very 20. Like, sometimes my mind can feel like I'm very like 18, but in reality, I'm like, girl, you are an adult. So I have a hard time realizing that, and I'm just trying to grow into the adult she's too quiet and how I show up in this world. And to be honest too, it's like some things you expect to be taught, but as I get older, I realize that there's a lot of things that you just have to learn on your own. Yes, you may have parents, yes, you may have mentors, you may have grandparents that's been in your life all of this time, and they were there for you, they went to all of your activities, supportive, great. But some of them didn't teach you how to present yourself in the world. And that could be because they were never taught how to present themselves to the world. They had to learn just like you. There was a quote that I heard that said, try to dress how you want people to treat you. And so I'm trying to really take that in and apply that to my life. Like, to be honest, my mom, she's one of my idols as it relates to like dressing up and showing up in the world, because she is always dressed. Even at the house, she may be at the house all day, but trust me, she will get dressed. She's gonna put on something to where she is complete for that day, and she does it effortlessly. But for me, even when I'm around her, I be like, okay, girl, you need to put on some stuff, because you can't be looking raggedy, because you know she gonna come with it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to take like pieces of her and put that into my life to make sure that I am caring how I present myself. Back in the day, to be honest, I did not care. Sometimes it showed, and it's so funny because when I go back home, people are like, wow, you look refreshed. Wow, you look this. It's like, y'all don't understand. I just really started putting a little effort in. It's amazing. Like, yeah, this is just how I look when I try. And I've been trying lately, so this is what you get. And then another part of me is like, dang, like I must look really bad, because it's just ridiculous how people be like, oh yeah. I was like, ooh, let me look at some pictures, because yikes, this don't sound good. Like, granted, it's a compliment, but ooh, how was I looking before, So it's just been interesting. And guys, do y'all, I don't know, I'm just really getting into the weeds with like maintenance and upkeep of a woman, and I'm wondering, guys, do y'all be making sure y'all do a lot for your upkeep and your maintenance, like even to the level of women? Because I'm like, why do we have to do all of this stuff? And I feel like the men don't have to do all of that. Not to say that, we got to be doing all of that, both of us, but I'm just like, this is a lot. For example, right? I'm trying to get into makeup, right? I have always been like a light makeup wearer. I never really wore heavy makeup, but I said, you know what? I need to learn how to beat my face. I feel like I've reached a point in life where I need to know how to do a proper face beat, right? So I started looking at makeup videos and people doing their makeup. I'm like, wow. Are you kidding me? Like, there is so many steps. Like, you gotta cleanse your face, and then you gotta put the vitamin C serum. Then you gotta, make sure you put the sunscreen on. Then you gotta put the foundation and concealer on. Then you gotta make sure you use this brush. I'm like, what? There is so many steps to beat your face. And I'm just like, wow, like this is pure magic. Some of these people, I'm like, y'all are this is witchcraft. No, just kidding, not witchcraft, but like, it's amazing to see how makeup can transform a person. And I'm like, should it be taken out? Like, should I be doing all of this? And then, y'all, makeup is expensive. I decided to look on Amazon to try to get some of the basic. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so much money. And for people to be like doing this on a regular, like Monday through Friday, you face beating, you beating your face all the time. Oh no, this can't be life. And then I'm like, should I like, should I be doing this, or should I just take all of this as suggestions? So we'll see. I've learned a lot. It's interesting. I'm a creative person, so I think I will enjoy it. Like yesterday, I beat my face a little bit and it was cool. Like, I felt good. It definitely gives you confidence. But, like, I'm telling you, an hour plus to put it on, I'm like, whew, I don't know if I'm ready for all of that. And then the hair, like trying to get your hair done is so expensive nowadays. It seemed like you coming off at least $300 minimum to get your hair done. Like, you gotta buy the hair, then you gotta pay to get the hair put in. Sometimes you gotta pay to go for maintenance with the hair. And I'm like, Lord, help me. And I've been natural for a while. Like, I would say in San Antonio, I live more of a natural girl life. Like, I had natural hair, little to no makeup. I tried to I didn't really get my nails done that often actually in San Antonio, but very natural. Here, I'm trying to, find myself. So I'm trying a lot of different things. I've really enjoyed getting my nails done. I go once a month and it's a whole vibe. Like, nail shops are becoming a moment. They have TV, chandeliers, they ask you about your day, they give massages. Like, it's really becoming top tier. You can literally spend all day in the nail salon if you have that many services that you need to get done that day. And it costs an arm and a leg. I mean, like, minimum you may pay $50 to get your nails done, but if you're trying to get your fingers and toes done, at least 120. Let you want an almond shape. Man, if you want a coffin, you know how much coffin nails cost. You want a flower on your nail? That's extra. I'm like, I ain't sitting up here telling y'all all my problems and you running the checkup trying to put designs on my fingers. You got to be careful in these nail shops. But anyways, yeah, I really been enjoying that. But I'm like, nah, I'm going to have to find, one of them kits online to where I could just do it at home, because the price for beauty in 2024 is just astronomical. And I don't know if I'm about this life for real. So I'd say I'm doing my case study right now. I'm in the testing phase to see if this is something that I can do, if this is something I can keep up with, if this is something I can enjoy. Now, y'all, I really want to know from y'all, do you feel pressured to look top notch? Like, how do you feel about this topic? Like, do you feel like you could do more? Do you want to do more? Are you doing your research to do more? Do you feel like you should probably start doing less because it's so expensive? What ways do you take care of yourself? Do you go to the nail shop? Do you make sure you get your hair cut? Like, how do you show up for yourself in society? I'm trying to figure that out, because I'm like, do I want to do this? Do I want to do this? It's a game, and it's like, do I want to enter the game, or do I want to live my, I want to say, like, hippie lifestyle in regards to keeping everything more minimal? Or do I want to pop out the box, boo? Hair done, nails done, everything did. Am I that girl? So I don't know. This 2024 is very explorative to me. Like, I'm very much exploring different facets of myself, and who really does She's Too Quiet want to be in this world? How does she want to show up in this world? How does she want to look? How does she want to talk? How does she want to feel? How do you want to feel? And I don't want to drift off into vanity when I talk about this. Like, there is a thin line, right? You don't want to be obsessed about looking good and stuff so much to where you neglect the things that matter. That's when you start drifting into the wrong territory. I'm particularly talking about being presentable and feeling good. I really want to feel good about how I look and how I present myself to the world. And I feel like that's one of the battles that quiet girls face quietly is the self-confidence. We don't necessarily have a lot of self-confidence to talk. We don't have a lot of self-confidence to be noticed, and we essentially dim our own light before we give anyone the chance to. And we really have to work on not doing that. And me included, because let me tell you, there has been some times recently to where I be like, ooh, girl, you doing too much. And it stops me from leaving, like going outside. I had to catch myself this past weekend because I was like, you are starting to look different. You're starting to feel different. You're gonna have to start being comfortable with this new you. And I had to realize, like, you have to be, she's too quiet. You can't let the thoughts of others, you can't let the perceptions stop you from going out, living life, and being you. And before we want someone else to tell us, oh, you look bad, or why you look like that, or even the compliments, it don't even have to be bad. Sometimes us quiet girls, we can't even take a compliment. We may take it as, oh, they was looking at me. We don't even internalize, like, they were looking at you and they thought you looked good. We're just like, oh gosh, they were looking at me. I didn't know they were looking at me. And now we feel all weird. It's very psychological. So for you quiet girls out there, you quiet gentlemen too out there, we have to start being okay with who we are and being comfortable in our own skin. And I think once we master that, or we conquer those type of fears, we can begin to see that quiet part of us will begin to transform. And in the grand scheme of things, I think this whole she's too quiet thing is going to turn into coming into who I am as a person, just that caterpillar turning into a butterfly. It's all about transformation. Although we're quiet, like I say in the intro, people actually do want to know us. They want to hear our voice. Inevitably, our quietness doesn't stop us from being seen. And once we embrace that, I'm telling you, it's only up from there. Thank you for listening to this episode. I love y'all. Continue to check me out. Please like, comment, and share. Please follow me on all platforms, Instagram, Apple Podcasts, all of that. We are getting near to the end of the season, so please, please, please continue to support. If you're interested in seeding into the She's Too Quiet podcast, feel free to give using Cash App at the handle $She's Too Quiet. Don't forget to do two things: love God and love people. Until next time, deuces.